tell you something. He said, no problem, come over. He leaves his house, he goes to his aunt's house, his mother's sister. He arrives there, and he says to her, he tells you exactly the story. The aunt couldn't help but start crying. And this kid is looking at this aunt, and you say, my God, if she's crying like this, how about my mother? He says, listen, the most important thing right now is we cannot bring this about to my mother. She would die. She would have a heart attack. She said, I don't know what to do. She calls her husband. She tells him, here's the situation. He said, don't worry, I'm on my way to the house, and your sister is with me in the car. The aunt tells the boy, your mother's with my husband in the car coming this way. The guy rushes downstairs, him and his brothers, to meet the mother. He sees his aunt's husband on the doorway. He says to him, where's my mother? He says, she's coming out the car. Did she know? He says, yes, she knew. And things are going through this kid's mind. How could you leave her by herself? You tell me she knew, you told her, somebody told her. He rushes out, and he sees this lady walking out of the car, like a high mountain of patience, with a smile on her face. He was shocked. He freezes in his spot as the mother walks by, pats him on the back, hugs him. Come on. He's still shocked. Doesn't know what to say. He was worried about his mother's health. They walk inside, and all that he can hear is his mother saying, don't worry, son. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took what gave us. It's His. And the kid is still surprised at the way his mother is speaking. As he's wondering in limbo, he gets a call. And the call is from where they left the body. They want him to come down to take a final look at the body. Hangs up the phone. And he finds himself looking at his mother, says, they want us to go down to look at the body. Mother gets up and says, okay, let's go. You're going to go down and see your son in this situation? Says, yes, let's go. And he's saying, I'm looking at her, and there's still that smile on her face. He gets in, they get in the car, and they go all the way to the hospital. They arrive at the hospital. They got him in one of those frozen fridges. Mother walks up with the smile still on her face. She walks down. They go inside. And the coroner or whoever was there says, you guys are the family of the deceased? Yes. You guys, are you sure you want to see this? I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. The mother walks up to the body. I'd like to see it. Now the man has no idea who this lady is. He sees a smile on her face. He opens up the fridge. She peels the thing off her son's. She looks at her son head first. She kneels down. She kisses her son between the eyes. And she says to her son, thank you. Thank you for being the way you were. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heaven for you. The kid in the back is still utterly shocked. She closes. As she closed the fridge, she turns around. Only God knows what's going through her heart. By closing that door, she closed a chapter in her life. There was 8 chapters in her life. That was the first chapter she closed. To no return. Yet she couldn't show it in front of the kids. She walks back, they get into the car, and they go home. The kid is looking at his mother, and his mother is just a mountain of patience. She lays down on the couch. The kid goes and does whatever he needs to do, comes back. He's saying, as I come back, my mother is sleeping. And here's where the story begins. It says, I see tears. She's sleeping and I see tears down her cheek. I said, my God, she bottled it in. And finally, while she was sleeping, she couldn't control herself. Tears had to come down her cheek. Suddenly the mother wakes up and he sees himself in front of his mother. Brings a net of Kleenex, gives it to her. He says, what do you want me to do with this? He says, Mom, wipe your tears. Tears. She takes a napkin, wipes the tears. He says, what's wrong? The mother says, I just had a dream. Dream of who? He says, I was laying down and I saw your brother, the deceased brother, and the angels were around him, and the angels were saying, lucky you, can you introduce us to your mother? They would look at each other and they would say, هذا ابن الصابر. This is the son of the patient one. And then in the dream she sees herself crying. The tears of patience, not the tears of sorrow. It's because of her patience and her tears that allowed this child to be within the vicinity of the angels. The prime example of the word patience from this mother. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a description in the Holy Quran about patience. And today we are living the land of patience with Karbala. Allah in the Quran says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَاذْكُرْ عَبْدَنَا أَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الشَّيْطَانُ بِنُصْبٍ وَعَذَابٍ. Says Ayyub, Allah says Ayyub, Prophet Ayyub, Job, إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ. He calls unto his Lord. What did he say when he called unto his Lord? How? We don't know, but he said yeah. How do we know he said yeah? إِذْ نَادَى, مش إذ دعا. النداء, when Allah in the Quran says إِذْ نَادَى وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ أو ذكر رحمة ربك عبده زكريا إذ نادى. Nada means he says Ya Allah, because it's called nida, Ya and nida. If he would have said Allahumma anzil bi kada, it would have been called a dua. إذ نادى ربه أني مسني الضر. Certainly, verily, affliction has came across, affliction and pain. I would like to invite you to the house of Ayyub so we can see how Satan afflicted him with pain. We are now at the house of Ayyub, who's married to the daughter of Yaqub by the name of Leah, Ukhut Yusuf. And we are paying close attention. Make sure you don't make any noises. We are in the house of Ayyub right now. He can hear it. He doesn't need commotion. He's in pain. And all we hear, Ayyub salamullahi alayhi, we look at a body and a vegetable laying in bed. We look to the side of the bed. We see this patient woman by the name of Leah right next to him. And we look at Ayyub again, and we can see a murmur coming out of his mouth. We can hear him. We close in Ayyub. We hear Ayyub saying, Allahumma, O Allah, la taj'al al-bala. Don't allow affliction. La taj'al al-bala yasil ila lisani. Don't, Allah, keep the affliction away from my tongue. حتى أظل أقول لا إله إلا الله. So I may keep remembering you. So I may keep thanking you. We look at Leah, and you see, Leah, what happened to your husband? Well, he had a lot of wealth. If the problem was with wealth alone, no problem. It was not only that.